going well on the offensive side of the ball, and we're pitching it pretty well as well.
To try to get some momentum in the conference and stuff. Of course, everyone's chasing Columbia, but you have to go on the road and play two teams over in the Metro East in Wood River and Roxana. So those are tough road trips to get out of school early and then you're home late. It makes for a very long, drawn out week.
Well, and if you even go back to the week before, we went to Freeburg on Friday night. We went to Highland on Saturday. So every time we play a game, it seems like we got to drive quite a ways to do it. Now, this coming week's going to be a lot easier on us because we got some home games coming up. But, anytime you get on the bus and drive like that, you just have to find a way when you get off the bus to be ready to play, and the kids did that absolutely this week.
And took care of how you needed to. When you still open up at Wood River, you knew it's a team, you just got to go put it on. They're going to be scrappy and stuff, but got good pitching, and this is a good week to see some other pitchers in the conference that you were able to squeeze in there too.
Yeah, I didn't know what we wanted to do with Wood River. We know that they're young, really, really young, and we beat them by the 10-run rule here. And Drew's been really sneaky good for us. When we've used him, he's kept us in games. Even looking back at some of his other starts, I feel like we went to Mater Dei and he kept us in that game, even though he wasn't, as sharp as he'd like to be. But against Wood River, he was pretty darn sharp. He was good. He was in the zone. Brogan Gregg was back and ready to catch, so we utilized him. And Drew did a really nice job, which set up our pitching for the rest of the week.
And Drew has been big for you all over the place because which we absolutely love multi-sport athletes, but with the fishing and with Brogan having to miss because of that, Drew stepped in, caught, done whatever you needed him to do outside of the pitching too, and then he's hit and gotten on base as well.
I'm glad you bring that up because last time we sat down and talked, I talked about several kids and I failed to mention Drew. And Eli Rose was our starting catcher going into this year. He has been for the last 2 years, and Eli's had a bad shoulder forever. And finally, Eli just finally decided he's going to go to the doctor and find out what's going on. And I don't know that Eli's shoulder will ever be right without surgery. So Eli has to go to the bench, and we stick Drew back there. And Drew has played outstanding. He has done absolutely everything we would hoped he would have done. He's playing with confidence. He's hitting, doing a great job. I don't know that there's a better guy at catching pop flies as from the catcher position. He seems to always be in the right spot. He sees it good off the bat. We're working hard on getting better at throwing down to second, which he's done fine, but we're going to get a little better at it. And he's come up with some huge hits for us too, and just never gives a bat away. He's been dynamite. I mean, you want to talk about a change in what the team's doing. Drew's a big part of that. And then I'll go on top of that and say Eli Rose, even though Eli's not playing right now, Eli Rose has been an unbelievable leader in our dugout. And you've got to have guys like that. You've got to have guys in your dugout. When guys come off the field and they're disappointed or upset about their bat or whatever might have taken place, Eli's there. He talks to Drew all the time about what's going on in the game. Eli's been fantastic for us in the senior leadership role.
I've watched him in the dugout. If that kid wants to coach down the road, I think he probably has a spot if he wants to down the road.
He probably could. Smart kid. And there's a reason why he caught for us as a sophomore and as a junior and then started for us at the beginning of this year until the shoulder was just too much to bear.
Yeah, and then you go Wednesday, rivalry game with South Central. It's always a fun one, especially at Lions Field, because you just never know how many runs is going to be enough. What guts. You're down 4 runs late, you come back, you get the lead. That had to be one of the bigger boosts for that team, I think, recently, just to come back and beat a team like that.
Well, I think what it does is it gives you confidence. When you are down, you still have that. You can come back and you can find a way to win. And Noah did a great job keeping us in that game. Leaves and we're either up by 1 or tied. Colton comes in and Colton comes in and throws strikes like he has all year, which is why we go to him in those spots. And they find holes and they get some hits and they take I think it was 8-4 lead on us going into the 7th inning. And the kids come off the field and I just calmly told them, here it is. Here's your gut check. You've got an opportunity right now to either lay over and die and lose this game, or you can fight. And I told them we were going to take a strike, which helped. But we get a leadoff single from Noah, and then Josh comes up and he walks, and it just seems like things started to roll for us and kind of unravel for South Central.
You feel like when you get now towards the bottom of the order, you get up to like an Isaac Williams spot like that. That's a good spot in the order for you guys to start getting into right now. I mean, they produce.
Absolutely. Even, Cameron Wilkins in that 7th inning had a huge double.
Yeah.
Drew's been outstanding at the plate, but he grounds out. Actually, I believe he was Shelton hit a ground ball, and Cooper Lobeck hits him running to second base. But man, Drew might have walked. Actually, I'm not as good as.
There's a lot of baseball you played this past week.
A lot going on that inning, but the guts the kids have, and you mentioned Isaac in the 9-hole. You talk about turnaround in the season. Putting Isaac down in the 9-hole has been huge for us because it seems like he always comes up with runners in scoring position or on base, or he leads off the inning, which is exactly what we wanted at the beginning of the season when we let him off, to start the year off. So the 9-hole has been really good to him, and we're allowed to do that because Gavin's swinging it so well, and Gavin's able to hit it in the 2-hole. He bunts well, moves it around. So those are some things that have really turned. But that game was a gut check game for us. The kids were super excited, and I hope that that's something that they can latch on to. If you find yourself in a postseason game down a few runs early or whatever, to know it's not over. We can do this. And what that does too is it lets your defense relax a little bit, because earlier in the season when we were 3-9 and struggling with offensively, you could see it in defense. We're playing tight because we're not hitting, we're not scoring. There's so much more pressure on your defense and your pitching. So to know you can come back in a game like that and to do it against a rival, a neighborhood team here or a neighbor team. So it was a definitely huge win.
And it was important too to carry that over and not have a letdown game, because that trap game at Roxana was the next night and could have very easily taken that win on Wednesday and just rested on it. But you didn't. You came out and you took care of business.
We jumped out early on them, and guys that we've depended on. And Jalen Unlow's had an unbelievable year. He comes up with a big double, and it kind of just, here we go.
Yep.
Gavin Zimmerman gets on base, and then boom, it takes off. And it was a really nice to see us come out and kind of keep the pedal down from what we had the night before.
So now with the seeding already taking place, you'll be the 3 seed in your subsectional, which should get you one of the top seeds there in your regional, which would be nice. You're also going to get Greenville in the opening game, which, hey, why not, right?
Yeah, when we had, before the seeds were even done, I started looking through some things, and I thought we'd be 3 or 4 or something like that, which is ironic, or just not ironic, but weird, because we were 13 and 14 at the time of the seeds. We're under 500. But our schedule is so tough. I think some coaches look at that and they see what it is. And I text Coach Hutch at Greenville, whom I have a ton of respect for, even would refer to him as a mentor. I texted him and I said, I think we might be coming to Greenville. I didn't know at the time we would be playing Greenville, but he even mentioned in our subsectional, throw them in a hat. You can throw all those teams in a hat and pull them out, and you're going to get close. We'll get Greenville. Floor's the 1 seed. They'll play the winner of Vandalia and T-Town. We all know what T-Town's capable of. So we'll see what happens.
Not having to play that playing game, though, and just having the semifinal and finals, I mean, that's big, because pitching-wise, I mean, you get to throw who anybody wants.
It absolutely is. It takes it out of is takes it out off of my shoulders to try to feel like, can we get by in the first game with whomever, or can we sneak this out, or what do we do with pitch counts? This is what we're going to do, and we're going to go with it. So it really helps me out, as far as trying to figure out the pitching.
So putting on another hat real quick, Little League got started this past week, but you're going to have your opening night coming up, or opening day sort of. But I mean, it's just getting this going and exciting. How are things out there? Everything put together? I know you were doing renovations and moving things around. How's everything going out there?
Well, if I'm putting my Little League hat on, I'll start by thanking some people.
There you go.
Rich Krause donated quite a bit to us to get us some new catcher's gear. So we've got most all teams situated with new catcher's gear. Americana has been huge. In the tornado, we lost 5 dugouts, and Americana has really stepped up. I was out there yesterday. They have 4 of the 5 done. I think they're waiting on a fence post or something to do the last one. But they've been outstanding. We had a huge donation from NAL, which then in turn helped us finish that new field that we have out there. Tyson Phillips came out, and awesome job by Mr. Phillips. to finish that project out there on the T-ball, the new T-ball field, which is big enough we can play some other stuff on. He came out and utilized all of the old stuff and saved us a big chunk of money. So we've had a lot of people step up. Going back to the day of the 2 days after the tornado, we had multitudes of people. I couldn't even tell you how many we had out there, and we had that place cleaned up in just a couple hours. So the community's been unbelievable. Huge thank you to all of them, especially the companies that I mentioned. And I'm sure I probably missed somebody in there, but I forget more than I think, anymore. So it's like kind of upside down with high school baseball and little league and just everything going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And prom last night, everything else that we get into.
Just busy.
Yeah,
it's just busy time of year. And but like you said, you come out this morning, it's beautiful out here. It's baseball weather. It can't get any better.
Not at all. And games just got started, and because of all the donations and everything else, you were able to get that thing cleaned up and get going without a hitch, which is always a good thing.
It was very nice, and we'll get going. We played 2 games this week. We moved these games to this week. There was a graduation we had conflict with, so we moved these games to this week. We played Wednesday night, 2 games, majors played, and then Monday night we'll get started, and it'll be rolling on Monday night.
So if you want something to do, get out the Little League Complex. Next week, Wildcats, what do you guys got on tap for next week?
So we got Waltonville for senior night.
That will be a good one. Waltonville, number 1 seed in their subsection.
They're solid. They're good. We were actually able to pull Griff early enough in the Roxana game that he'll have 75 pitches. I kind of started thinking about it. It'd be nice to throw him on senior day. So we'll get to start him on Monday. But then we go Thursday night, we go to Altamont, who's another really good 1A school.
Yep.
And then we get our number 1 in our regional, or the number 2 overall subsectional in Flora on Friday night here. So we get 2 home games this week. Everybody that we play this week can play. And then we actually added a game with Murfreesboro on the 15th. They were looking for a game, and we have 2 left. We could stick on our schedule, so I decided let's play it so we can keep sharp.
Sounds good. That'll be fun. Senior night on Monday afternoon as Dylan Smith and Waltonville Cesarville comes to town.
They're coming to town, and he's pumped. He's ready to go.
Oh, I know. I've been getting messages all the time about that one. So, well, Coach, appreciate the time. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, Toby.